UFOs, unidentified flying objects. I am not an expert in pictures and images, so I'll leave it to you, to your intelligence as a human being, to make the difference and think. By the way, have you seen my videos on my Rumble channel? I speak a lot, and my Rumble channel is called Divergent on Rumble. Now let's see pictures of UFOs. I know it's up to you to decide, and it's up to you to decide what is fake, what is not, what is a mixture between truth and fake. And of course, have you actually read the German books, which only exist in German? They were written in the 1970s and 1980s with information from the 1940s and 50s and 60s, and they're only in German. The big majority of them, that's like several of them. Only one of them is in English with limited information, and the others are just in German. Do you like to read stuff about the flying saucers with electric magnetic levitation energy from the Second World War and before and after? How about those that work with mercury and vortex mercury and nuclear power? I know it's up to you to decide, and who does what, when and how, and what is military and what is not military, and what is from these continents and what is from the other continents as per the Vibes of Cosmos map. There's pictures in black and white, and there's pictures in color. Like I said, I am totally, definitely ignorant when it comes to being an expert in images and pictures. Of course, some of them, it's clear that it's just an interpretation of what they might look like, and some of them, something like they got from the sky. But how many of these are actual military engineering, right? And how many of them are military engineering from a different human species, right? A different humanity. For example, we know that this is not aliens from outer space. This is actually a human engineering project from the military of the United States of America, right? And the Russians have it as well. So there's certain things that we already know of, what is military created by the engineers of the military of each country, and stuff that's not. For example, the Germans actually created these flying saucers. There's plenty of reports about that as well. Now, there's also these awesome vehicles that can go underwater, right? So they're not just flying in the sky, but they go underwater as well. And we are not allowed to explore the bottoms of the oceans like I would like to explore. Of course, speaking about Antarctica, don't forget Antarctica, as per the Vibes of Cosmos. What is the moon? The moon is the map of the world. Very easy to understand. So what's underneath the ice in many of the so many Antarcticas in the world? And now you understand where the Star Wars and Star Trek and all the other sci-fi movies they get the inspiration from, right? Remember, in the 1940s and 1950s and 1960s, these flying saucers were understood totally differently than what they were understood in the 1970s, 80s, 90s with Hollywood, and after the 2000s, from the year 2000 onwards, because of the internet and because all these websites and all this misinformation online, then people see it in a different vibe as well. But in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s, this was totally differently understood. Of course, the big majority of people from those times are dead or super old, but I just wanted to mention that so that you yeah. Okay, let's make this one bigger so that we can see one by one. I don't know, like some of them they look so real, and you can see they're real. Some of them they look fake. Some of them they look like a mixture of real and fake. Oh, I love this one. This one in Washington was amazing. This, of course, is the Triangle UFO by the U.S. military. And what else? It's hard to actually understand because like in aviation, everybody knows, if you're like an engineer and stuff, about the electric flying vehicles and magnetic levitation. And the mercury vortex. That's just engineering. It's nothing to. But I guess people like this whole thing about. Hey, I can make a video about what type of aliens people like. People like that alien stuff from the Hollywood movies. They like aliens to look at it. They like aliens until they might just find an alien in their house or something, and then they would get super spooky, creepy. But that's how people like. People like Hollywood and fantasy. Now, in the jungles, in the deserts, under the waters, of course, this one looks like pretty, just an interpretation of the pictures. But what about all these cases where you actually have something crashing in the middle of nowhere, which of course it might be just a failure of the military, or intentionally made? I definitely like these ones in the jungle, because the German books speak about South America and the Germans in South America and these remote places after 1945, especially in Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, Uruguay, Chile, and Colombia. So yes, and then there's these black and white pictures from before. These lights in the sky, these are like one of the most famous ones. But again, we see people see lights in the sky, and just because they know that it's not like a plane or a helicopter, they just go by, oh, aliens from space. But they don't think about, hey, the military. Okay, so yeah, it's normal to think. Now I love this one because speaking about the German books and the flying saucers and the German technology with from the German engineers with electrifying vehicles and electromagnetic levitation, so amazing. And then these pictures from the 1940s and 50s and 60s in black and white are truly amazing, unless they're just a composite creation like done intentionally. The TR, I'm not sure, I forgot, the TR3 something B. Black Triangle, we already know it's Project Aurora, which is highly classified military, and we only see it from the limited information we have from what people gathered from filming on the sky when these were present. So yeah, but again, the military stuff is just so amazing. And of course, yeah, we have the old these things, which were like the beginning of the electromagnetic vortexes for magnetic levitation in the first UFOs. These ones are totally amazing. I have to be honest. If you ever get a chance to see something come out of the sea, so you see something coming out of the sea or the ocean, and you actually see it, and then you see it going down again, going back into the water, you are such a lucky person. If you see that, then you are a super lucky person. If you see something like in the middle of nowhere in the ocean, boom, all of a sudden you see it on the surface of the water, in the sky, and then boy, it drops back down in the water. That is mighty amazing. And if you get to see something at the edges of the world in the ice, then the edges of the world, as per the vibes of Cosmos, moon. Okay, the moon is the projection of the Earth. Everybody knows that. It's simple science. It's simple reality of the real world. Nothing special to see there. And if you ever get to see a crashed UFO, probably it was a crashed UFO because of a failed military experiment. Okay, so that's just the way it is. And these ones, when people prefer to actually accept visitors from outer space, but then you go, hey, have you studied the German books and have you studied the vibes of Cosmos books, and do you understand that the Earth is not a spinning ball with curved water in space? Then everything changes. How about the moon landing, right? And the USAF stuff. This was big projects in the 1950s. This was public information. Of course, in those days there was no internet. People were limited in information. So even the people who knew about this because of the newspapers, then the whole project got cancelled, and then people died because of old age, and the engineers died as well. So people forgot about these experiments by the U.S. military and the Russian military to do these flying saucers vehicles based on the knowledge of the what was gathered from Germany and other places. So yes, I hope you enjoyed, and I would like to finish the video with this photo here. It's an image, right? It's an interpretation. But for those who read the German stuff, then you might know more. See you in the next video.